Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? It is I, Dr. Stevie, and we are back for another conversation on The Conversation with Stevie. The Conversation with Stevie is the place where we uncover the why behind what people do, and I'm super excited today because I love having great conversations. What I do in the world is to help you to make sure you're using your knowledge and expertise to make money online. I do that so that you can live a life that you absolutely, positively love. And so today we have a conversation with Angela Lewis. Hello, Angela. How are you?
Hi, Dr. Stevie. I am fabulous. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for asking. I believe that the greatest introduction one can do is of themselves. So I'm going to ask you to please introduce yourself.
Absolutely, my pleasure. First, let me say thank you so much. I'm super excited about being on The Conversation with Dr. Stevie today. And again, as you stated, my name is Angela Lewis. I am an empowerment speaker, coach. I'm a publisher and editor-in-chief of iShine magazine. I also host the iShine magazine podcast. So what I love to do is empower women, particularly in the aspect of entrepreneurship. So I help people to get their stories out, to get their voices heard through publishing their books. And so with doing that, we try to help people to, elevate and dominate in the marketplace to get that visibility, the credibility, and then, of course, that profitability that everybody is looking for. So while we're connecting, we're just helping them to get their confidence built up, make some coins, and definitely make those connections.
I love that. Yes, so I'm a big proponent of that as well. I always talk about visibility plus credibility equals cash. And so I want to bring it back just a little bit and talk to you about that visibility because, when I saw the movie Hidden Figures, I always talk about the fact that, yes, I love the movie. My pastor's son was in the movie. He played Janelle Monáe's son. But I felt sad, honestly, looking at that because I knew that so many of those women, we never heard of those women before. I knew I hadn't heard of them. And I feel like we all, to a certain extent, everybody has not heard of us, the great work that we do, and that's why I really am a proponent of visibility. But I said all that to say, why should people feel like, specifically women, feel like they need to get visible?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because you're absolutely right. In the movie Hidden Figures, for a lot of people, they never heard of any of those ladies, although they were making some major impacts, behind the scenes. And so I believe that with visibility, if you're the best kept secret, that means that nobody can follow you with your brand. They can't get into your products or your services because the visibility is what positions you for people to know who you are. So the more that you can get out in front of, with media, the more that you can get out front with marketing, the more that you can position yourself to be a expert in your field, those things are what draw people to you so that they can have that know, love, and trust factor. When they don't know you, then, of course, you miss out on a whole lot of influence and impact that somebody probably needs.
Yes, for the influence and the impact. And I want to talk about your magazine. I know you say you have a magazine, so please tell us more about that.
Yes, so it is iShine magazine, which I love it because we really launched in July of 2021, and from there we have just been making a major impact of showcasing people who are movers and shakers, people who are authors and entrepreneurs, business owners, people who are just out here doing their thing. And so it's just been really nice to highlight and celebrate and showcase people as they are making a difference. What I say, make a difference in not only their lives but the lives of others in the community and for some people, throughout the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so another thing I want to ask you about is why do you feel so many people shy away from being visible?
Well, you know what, Stevie, I think that for so many people, they lack the confidence, to really step out there. Although my favorite poem is by Marianne Williamson, Our Deepest Fear. And it's that our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate, but that we're powerful beyond measure. So when you bring visibility, that means that you have to show up. When you bring visibility to yourself, that means that, for some people, they're very uncomfortable. They're kind of fearful of, the spotlight or that limelight. But at the end of the day, I believe that we all have gifts and talents. I believe we all have a story, and I believe our voices need to be heard. And a lot of times what we go through, whether it is, trauma, drama, all of those things, it makes you who you are. And so if you can show up and just be authentically and unapologetically yourself, then you don't have to shy away from visibility. As a matter of fact, you should run to it and embrace it, because that's what makes you different. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes you shine. And for a lot of people, if you're not embracing just yourself and being in your lane and focusing on you as your best competition, and you're looking at other people, then of course sometimes you may feel inadequate because you're measuring yourself by somebody else's standard. And a lot of times we're looking at the picture that we see now, not recognizing all of the things they've had to go through to get there.
Yes. And that's the thing, biblically speaking, we overcome by the testimonies of others, and I think that's also a huge reason why we have to be visible. And so has there ever been a time where you felt like you were not visible enough, and how did you combat that?
I think, Stevie, that can really be at any time, really. For a lot of people, you don't ever really think you've made it. Some people can see you and they're like, oh, my God, I love you. I love what you're doing. But internally, when, again, you're measuring what you see in social media, in the news, on different things, if you're not, I guess, at that Oprah status, then you're still trying to make it. You're still striving to get there. And so what I would tell anyone is stay consistent, stay focused, and be driven on what your purpose is, what your passion is. And although things may happen, failure doesn't mean that you stop, and delayed does not mean denied. Just because you are not where you want to be at or where you think you should be at, still continue to push, still continue to move forward, because your time is coming. And if you can just continue to be pushing forward, because we all learn different stages of our lives. There's always something to learn. There's always something to, embrace. Things change, and so you want to be visible. You want to be out here, just getting yourself in position for whatever comes your way. And the more that you stay consistent and get out there, that visibility will take you further and further as you pursue your passion and your purpose.
Yes. And so I love that you've built a platform, a powerful platform to really help us to get visible, because even myself, my background is in PR. And I understand that, we don't own the TV stations or the radio stations. And so I'm always a big fan of people creating platforms for us to get visible on, because that's a big why in my own business. So I love and celebrate the fact that you've done this. Has there ever been a time in your life or your business that you just were like, oh, my gosh, I have to create more platforms? Because a lot of times it's not easy to be a platform builder. So I definitely want to talk to you about that and the power of creating your own platform.
Oh, yes, I love that. You know what, Stevie, I think sometimes people get so caught up on, not having a seat at the table. Well, sometimes you have to bring your own table to the function, and embrace that. And so for me, I don't call myself creative or definitely not technical, but at the same time, I understand the power of having platforms where you can use your voice or you can share your story. So it was really important for me when I started doing anthologies, with a group of ladies, to be able to, number one, during the pandemic, I started looking at ways that, we can get online. So I did a Woman Empowered Summit using social media to be able to, have 12 different ladies come on and share their stories. And so from there, that's when we went into the anthology. And I had 24 other ladies come with me to share our stories about strength, resiliency, and triumph. So I decided from there, this is a great thing to do. And not only do we have our stories, but other people do as well. So that's what prompted me to, start that publishing and production company. So A&M Publishing and Productions was born through myself and my business partner, Matthew Santana. And, from there, you're thinking when you are trying to get yourself out there and when you're looking at media opportunities, then a book is a great way to get yourself out there. But again, the magazine came up, and just having that digital presence, being able to have people to promote their businesses and advertise, that was so great. And it's just another way of celebrating yourself, but also another way of getting your business exposed to the masses. So we did the magazine, but then also the podcast, being able to, because like yourself, interview people who have something that they want to share, something that may help somebody else in their walk with their businesses, to get tips, tools, and strategies that can help. And then from there, there's so many other avenues. I'm really not only going to stay there, but also looking for opportunities, to get into live streaming and, owning our own network. So the possibilities are endless. You just have to position yourself to see what's going on, what's out here, what's relevant, and how you can help people to get into those different spaces so that they can show the world what they're doing.
Yes. Content creation is a game changer. It is.
Yes,
oh my gosh.
It
and now we're being able to be monetized on different platforms and everything. So I want you to talk about that. I thought your excitement. So go ahead and talk a little bit about that.
I was getting ready to say, I love it because I feel like everybody, you are your brand, period. And so whatever you can do, it's kind of like layering clothes. You may start off with one thing and then you put something else on top of it. So if you can get yourself out here to create your product or your service, your brand or your business, writing a book is an excellent way to show your expertise and be a subject matter expert, and it separates you from people who may be in business but not doing it on the level that you are. So now that you have a book, that's like a new business card. It's like a new door of opportunity being opened up, because now you can use that to become a speaker. You can use that to become a coach. You can use that, to maneuver on into, like we were talking about, the magazine, or to podcasts, or to your own shows, whether it's YouTube or whether you decide to get on a streaming platform like Roku or Amazon Prime or, some of the other big ones. So I think that for a lot of people, if you just recognize that you are your brand and you build yourself up, then whatever you do from that, once people know, love, and trust you, they're going to be supportive of the things that you do beyond that, meaning, whatever other business you decide to get into, whether it was travel or whether it is, selling, having a boutique and selling clothes, whatever that may be. Once you establish being a brand yourself, it's very easy to start attracting people to you and what you do.
Yes, and yes, and yes. So before we get your contact information, because, listen, this is such a great and rich conversation. It's going by so fast. But I do want to ask you this question that I ask everybody who comes to have a conversation with me. It's a fill-in-the-blank question, and it literally goes like this. Dr. Stevie, we cannot leave the conversation today without everyone knowing, and then fill in the blank.
Dr. Stevie, we cannot leave the conversation today without everyone knowing that you are empowered to be the best you that you can be. Everything you need is already inside of you. You just have to have a faith and belief in you, and you can go out here and do the impossible.
I love that. Yes. I know they say sometimes that the word impossible means I'm possible. So, yes. I love that. You can you can do it. So this has been such a great conversation, Angela. I appreciate you stopping by to have a conversation with me. But before we let you go, please do give us your contact information so people can stay connected to you.
I would be honored to do so. You can reach out to me on my social media platforms at I am Angela Lewis, and that is IamAngelalaLewis. My website is www.IamAngelaLewis.com, and if you want to reach out to me via email, that is info@IamAngelaLewis.com.
All right, so you all definitely reach out to Miss Angela. Listen, she got stuff for you. Not only does she have amazing platforms, she has awesome and amazing opportunities for you to really get connected. I can feel the energy. So listen, you definitely want to be in her space. I love having conversations with amazing people, and I definitely want to stay connected with you all too. So if you need me, just know how to spell my first name correctly, Stevii, and go to workwithstevie.com. Go to workwithstevie.com. I always end everything I do by saying, make it a great day. Don't have a great day. Make it a great day. Why? Because you, and yes, you too have the power to do so. Bye for now.